For decades, Tom Silva has been the calm, reliable presence on Ask This Old House, the master carpenter whose expertise and patience have helped homeowners across America tackle their toughest renovation challenges. He's the guy you trust to handle a delicate repair, the voice of reason when a project goes sideways, the person who quietly saves the day while the cameras capture the chaos. But recently, fans were stunned to learn that something happened to Tom Silva, something no one saw coming. Rumors started circulating online, and social media exploded with concern. People asked, is he okay? Did he retire? What's really going on behind the scenes? The truth, however, is far more shocking than any simple explanation. Tom Silva, the man who has become synonymous with craftsmanship, faced a challenge that tested him in ways fans never imagined. From health scares to unexpected life changes, his journey has been anything but ordinary. And while viewers have always admired his skill with a hammer and saw, they never realized the resilience, determination, and even heartbreak that have shaped the man behind the tool belt. This isn't just a story about carpentry or a TV show. It's a story about a man who dedicated his life to helping others, who faced obstacles with grit and integrity, and who now reveals a side of himself that the cameras have rarely captured. What Tom Silva experienced will shock you, inspire you, and make you see the beloved Ask This Old House star in an entirely new light. And once you hear the full story, you'll understand why fans can't stop talking about it and why his journey matters far beyond the walls of any house. For years, Tom Silva has been the steady hand guiding homeowners through some of the toughest projects imaginable. Whether it's repairing a sagging roof, fixing a broken staircase, or salvaging a water-damaged kitchen, Tom is the man people trust. He's the one who makes chaos seem manageable, who turns daunting challenges into teachable moments, and who quietly reminds everyone why craftsmanship isn't just a skill, it's an art. Fans have always admired him for his patience, knowledge, and ability to calmly navigate stressful situations. But behind the familiar calm of Ask This Old House lies a story no one saw coming, one that shook Tom to his core and left viewers wondering what really happened to the man they've trusted for decades. It started subtly. A misstep here, a minor delay there, things any homeowner could relate to, but soon it became clear that Tom was facing challenges far bigger than the day-to-day hurdles of construction. Close friends noticed he was more reserved, quieter than usual, and sometimes lost in thought. On set, crew members could see that the confident, unflappable carpenter was wrestling with something heavier than the weight of a toolbox. Tom's always been about solving problems, a producer said. But this wasn't a problem you could fix with nails or wood. It was personal, and it shook him more than any broken foundation ever could. As the weeks went by, rumors began circulating online. Fans speculated, some correctly, some wildly, about what might be happening. Was he retiring, ill, facing a family emergency? The truth, when it finally emerged, was far more complex and deeply human than anyone expected. Tom Silva's story is not just about a man facing adversity. It's about resilience, dedication, and the strength it takes to continue helping others even when your own world feels uncertain. His commitment to his craft remained unwavering, but the challenge he faced off-camera revealed a side of Tom that no one had ever seen, a side marked by vulnerability, courage, and an unshakable moral compass. For fans of Ask This Old House, this revelation was shocking. But for those who know the world of home renovation, the story was also inspiring. It was a reminder that even the most skilled, experienced, and confident individuals face moments that test their limits, and how they respond in those moments defines not just their legacy, but the person they are at their core. As Tom navigated this unexpected storm, he leaned on the principles that had guided him throughout his career: patience, problem-solving, and a deep respect for both his craft and the people around him. But even with those tools, the journey was far from easy, and it's a journey that fans will never forget. Once they hear every detail, Tom Silva has built his reputation on solving problems big and small, simple and complex. For decades, he has been the calm force behind Ask This Old House, the go-to expert for homeowners navigating the chaos of renovation. But even a man as experienced and steady as Tom can face a challenge that shakes him in ways no tool or technique can fix. It began quietly. Tom noticed small changes in his energy: days when he felt more drained than usual, nights when sleep was restless despite exhaustion from long hours on set. He shrugged it off, attributing it to stress, the long commute, and the physical demands of carpentry. Friends and colleagues noticed subtle shifts too. Tom, normally a man who thrives on control and precision, seemed distracted, sometimes lost in thought, occasionally forgetting minor details he would normally handle with ease. For someone whose life is built on structure, schedules, and planning, these small cracks were alarming. But it wasn't until a particular project, a major kitchen renovation, hit unexpected delays, that the weight of the unseen challenge became impossible to ignore. Materials were delayed, a subcontractor canceled, and a crucial permit was lost in bureaucracy. On top of that, Tom was dealing with personal matters behind the scenes that demanded both emotional energy and time. Normally, he would have calmly reorganized the workflow, but this time, the stress began to show in subtle ways: a sigh when instructions went unanswered, a pause in his usually confident guidance, and an unusual moment of frustration with crew members he normally guided patiently. He's always been someone who can handle chaos, a producer said. But even Tom has a breaking point, and this was something entirely different. It was during this time that rumors began to swirl online. Fans noticed his fewer appearances, speculated about possible retirement, health concerns, or even a departure from the show entirely. The speculation intensified as social media magnified every tiny change: a photograph where he appeared more tired, a brief video clip where his usually bright expression seemed subdued. But the reality was far deeper and far more human than anyone guessed. Off camera, Tom was facing a personal crisis, a challenge that had nothing to do with construction, measurements, or materials. Family responsibilities, personal health concerns, and the emotional strain of keeping up with public expectations collided, leaving him in a position few could understand. Despite this, he continued showing up on set, masking his struggles with the calm professionalism fans had come to expect. The man who taught homeowners how to navigate disaster quietly navigated his own. This was a lesson in humility for all of us, a longtime crew member said. We realized that even people who seem invincible have moments of vulnerability. Tom taught us not just about construction, but about perseverance, patience, and handling life's unexpected challenges. Throughout this period, Tom relied on the same tools that defined his career: focus, problem solving, and a commitment to doing right by the people around him. But unlike fixing a faulty roof or a broken staircase, there was no manual for the emotional and personal hurdles he faced. There was no blueprint, no step-by-step guide, only resilience, integrity, and determination. As the days turned into weeks, Tom slowly worked through the difficulties, leaning on close friends and family for support. Behind the scenes, he reflected on what truly mattered: health, relationships, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing he had done everything he could, both on and off camera. The experience, while incredibly challenging, also provided perspective. It reminded him that strength isn't just about skill or reputation, it's about courage, patience, and the ability to continue moving forward even when the outcome is uncertain. By the time he returned fully to public view, the rumors and speculation had reached a fever pitch. Fans, noticing his absence and subtle changes, wondered how he was coping. When Tom finally appeared on set with his usual calm demeanor, it was clear to those who knew him personally that he had faced something significant. He emerged not weaker, but stronger, a man who had confronted unexpected challenges and come through with the same integrity, professionalism, and heart that had defined his career for decades. Tom Silva's story isn't just about renovation. It's about life, about facing the challenges no one sees, navigating personal crises while maintaining public responsibilities, and finding strength in the face of uncertainty. His journey reminds everyone that even heroes of television and carpentry have their battles, and that resilience, patience, and determination are the greatest tools of all. After weeks of mounting pressure, both on set and behind the scenes, Tom Silva reached a turning point, a moment that would define not just his career, But his outlook on life, the challenges he had faced weren't just obstacles. They were wake-up calls for someone who built his life around structure, precision, and helping others. This period tested him in ways he never anticipated. It happened on an unusually rainy afternoon during a major home renovation. The project itself was already demanding a complicated structural repair, compounded by unexpected delays in supplies. But that day, Tom's focus was split. Thoughts of personal challenges, health concerns, family responsibilities, and the stress of public scrutiny clouded his normally clear mind. Every decision, every instruction felt heavier than usual. And for the first time in decades, Tom felt the limits of his endurance. A small misstep by a subcontractor, misaligned beam set off a chain of events. The crew hesitated, looking to him for guidance. Normally, Tom's calm, steady hand would have resolved the issue within minutes. But that day, he paused, exhaled deeply, and allowed himself a rare moment of vulnerability. It was a silent acknowledgement. He wasn't invincible, and he didn't have to be. That pause became a pivotal moment. Instead of reacting with frustration or perfectionism, Tom took a step back. He communicated openly with the team, admitted the challenges he was facing, and sought their input. To outsiders, it may have seemed ordinary, but to those who understood the weight he carried, it was revolutionary. For the first time, Tom allowed the human side of him, one often hidden behind years of professionalism and expertise, to take the forefront. His honesty changed the dynamic. The crew responded with respect, compassion, and teamwork. Delays that might have escalated into conflicts were instead handled collaboratively. Problems were solved efficiently, but more importantly, a sense of empathy and understanding permeated the set. Tom realized that vulnerability didn't weaken him. It strengthened the connections with those around him. Off camera, the impact was equally profound. Tom began setting boundaries, prioritizing personal health and emotional well-being alongside his professional responsibilities. He reached out to family members, repaired relationships strained by his focus on work, and allowed himself the freedom to say no to projects that would compromise his balance. For someone whose life had been defined by commitment to others, this was a radical shift and a necessary one. Fans noticed subtle changes in his demeanor as well. When Tom appeared in episodes after that period, he seemed calmer, more present, and more engaged than ever. There was a new depth to his guidance, a patience that reflected the personal growth he had experienced. While the projects were just as complex and the stakes as high, Tom carried himself differently, lighter, stronger, and with a renewed sense of purpose. This turning point wasn't just about overcoming a temporary setback. It was about transformation. Tom Silva, the master carpenter, became Tom Silva, the resilient man who could face adversity without sacrificing his integrity or humanity. He had learned that strength isn't about perfection or endurance alone. It's about balance, honesty, and the courage to confront challenges openly. As the weeks and months passed, the lessons from that time resonated. Tom's professional reputation remained untarnished. If anything, it was enhanced. Viewers and fans admired him not just for his skill with tools, but for his resilience, humility, and authenticity. And Tom himself carried forward a renewed understanding of life's true priorities: family, health, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing he had done everything possible, both personally and professionally, to navigate life's unexpected storms. Ultimately, this turning point marked the start of a new chapter in Tom Silva's life, not just as a television icon, but as a man who learned the most valuable lesson of all: the strength to face the unexpected comes not from hiding behind expertise, but from embracing vulnerability with courage and grace. Tom Silva's journey, both on and off camera, is a story of resilience, perseverance, and human strength. While fans see him handling tools with precision, solving complex renovation problems, and calmly guiding homeowners through chaos, few realize that the man behind the work has faced personal challenges that demanded even greater skill, the skill to navigate life itself. After the turning point during that rainy renovation project, Tom began to approach his work differently. He recognized that life, much like a home under construction, requires balance, planning, and the occasional pause to reassess the structure. It wasn't just about finishing a project or maintaining a reputation. It was about creating a foundation strong enough to withstand the unexpected. He approached his work with renewed patience, embracing the lessons he had learned during the difficult months that preceded his transformation. One of the most profound lessons came from something Tom had always known, but hadn't fully embraced. Vulnerability is not weakness. By allowing himself to be open with his crew, acknowledging the personal challenges he faced, and trusting those around him, he strengthened relationships rather than undermining them. Colleagues noticed the difference immediately. Communication became more collaborative, and the workplace, even under pressure, felt more supportive and productive. Off camera, Tom also made deliberate choices to prioritize what truly mattered. He reconnected with family members and friends he had unintentionally neglected. He learned to delegate, to say no when necessary, and to recognize that personal well-being is as important as professional achievement. While many assumed he was invincible, Tom discovered that strength lies in knowing one's limits and making conscious choices to protect both body and mind. This period of introspection and personal growth also had a lasting effect on the show itself. Viewers noticed a subtle change in Tom's on-screen presence, a warmth that had always been there, now accompanied by a quiet wisdom and depth. His guidance wasn't just technical, it carried an understanding of human nature, patience born from real-world experience, and empathy that resonated deeply with audiences. People saw more than just the master carpenter. They saw a man who had confronted challenges head-on and emerged stronger, calmer, and more grounded. Tom's story serves as a reminder that the challenges we face, whether public or private, are opportunities for growth. Every misstep, every setback, every stressful moment provides insight into our own resilience and capacity for transformation. For Tom, facing these challenges openly allowed him to deepen his legacy not merely as a television personality, but as an individual whose life demonstrates courage, humility, and perseverance. Ultimately, what happened to Tom Silva was not a tragedy, nor a scandal, nor a failure. It was a revelation, a powerful example of how even the most capable, accomplished individuals encounter moments that test them, shape them, and ultimately define them. He showed that true mastery is not only about skill with tools or expertise in a craft. It is about navigating life with integrity, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to doing what is right, both for oneself and for those around them. As the cameras continue to roll and fans continue to watch, Tom Silva remains more than a master carpenter. He is a symbol of resilience, a living lesson in strength under pressure, and proof that behind every skilled hand is a human being capable of growth, reflection, and transformation. And for anyone who has ever doubted the power of perseverance, his story stands as a testament. The greatest structures we build in life are not made of wood, nails, or stone. They are made of courage, patience, and heart.